from Texas. It is day 4 of our ASA combo courses extraordinaire. So yesterday we finished day 3, which was the first day of ASA 103-104. It turned out to be an excellent day. We had a little problem. So as you know, we bought a 45-foot monohull, and for the ASA 103-104 course, we were hoping to get a boat of comparable size to the one we purchased so we could practice on it. Unfortunately, the sailing school had their 3 largest ships booked out, and so they were giving us a 32-foot monohull to do the course on. So generally it starts with provisioning. You do a short course on provisioning, then you actually go to the store and provision for the trip. The day 1, about noon, you take the boat to Galveston, where you sail to Galveston, and then you anchor or put in for a slip overnight. Day 2, I'm not sure what it is. You take the ASA 103 test, and I think you do navigation. We haven't done that yet, so I'm not real sure. And then you spend a second night out, either on anchor or on the slip. So you get 1 night on anchor and 1 night in a slip. If you request it, they're usually pretty generous, and you can put both nights on anchor if you want to try it. The people at South Coast Sailing Adventures have been more than accommodating. So I want to put a plug in for this place. We came in thinking we were going to do a week-long combination course of 101, 103, 104, and a catamaran course. They worked with our dates, they worked with our times, they worked with our group. We only had, so you have to have 3 people to have a course. And we only had 3 people part of the week, and then the last course, the catamaran course, was only going to be 2. They didn't have a problem with it. They wanted to try to fill the slot if they could. I said, no problem, you know, it's your business. But they scheduled the course even though we had 2 people. So we thank them a lot for that. Fast forward like a month, we buy a monohull, so we no longer need a catamaran course. They changed the catamaran course to a docking course without a problem, still only with the 2 of us in it. We decided that Jen wanted to ride on the monohull because she hadn't been out in choppy water. So we added a half-day sail to the end, including Jen on it, no problem. They booked the sail for us without a problem. We get down here for the course. Having bought the monohull, they're working with us as best they can to get us on the larger boat, you know, so it's more like the one that we've purchased, so we can train better on it. They've just been more than accommodating for everything that we've tried. So they run a really good business. They're very people-friendly. They're very service-oriented. Captain Lucy is more than accommodating. I highly recommend the South Coast Adventure Sailing Adventures, whichever one it is. I'll look it up. Anyway, we'll put the link down below in the description. I highly recommend them. Jessica and Ryan Sailing use them as well. They did a video blog similar to this on their experience. I suggest you check that out too. Okay, so back to sailing. So what we did yesterday, we went out, we did it a little different because we were changing boats after one day. So instead of taking a boat, doing the ground course and sailing to Galveston, we took out a 36, which was really cool. We started with a 26 for the ASA 101 course. We moved to a 36 yesterday, so it's kind of like an intermediate boat, and then we're going to a 32 yesterday, and we're going to a 46 today, 146. which, by the way, they let us sleep on last night, which was really cool. It was huge, it was beautiful, it was very comfortable. Yesterday we took out the 32. We did some coursework in the classroom just to talk about what we were going to do. We went out on the boat. You went over all the systems, the electrical system, the heating and air, the engine, the bilge, the electronics. You know, we did a tour of the boat, where the rigging was, you know, which running rigging went where, how the furling system worked, how the reefing system worked, and that took us till about 11. We have Captain Tracy, great guy, real laid back. We finished with the tour. Captain Tracy's like, so what do you say we sail over and get some lunch? All right, sounds like a great day to me, right? So we get in the boat and we were expecting him to captain it, but no, he tells me to get on the helm. I pull out of the slip on this huge boat. I've never done anything before in a really tight marina. Sail it up through the channel, do a U-turn, pull up to the dock, and dock it with his instruction, obviously. So it was really cool that he just gives us command of the ship. We had lunch at Outriggers, really nice local spot, great burgers. We get back on the boat and we go out in the bay and we just start sailing. Sail for, I don't know, 2-3 hours, just practicing tacks on it. Did some jibes, which scare the crud out of me on a big boat like that. Then he takes a buoy and he wraps it in a life jacket and throws it overboard, man overboard. And we just start doing man overboard drills. So there's 3 of us on the boat. We must have done, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times each doing man overboards till we're comfortable with it. You met Dave on the video the other day. We found out that the Catalina 32 swivels on a dime. That thing spins like a top. Dave would go and he would get just barely downwind of that man overboard, spin the boat, and take it right to a heave-to next to that dummy every time, which was not what we were taught, but it worked. And Tracy was great with that. So we played, we laughed. It was a good time. It was beautiful weather. And then we brought it back in. So today, the plan is going to be to get on the 46 and go over some of the systems that are different from the other one. It's got in-mast furling. I mean, we're just gonna sail toward Galveston, I guess. So I'll give you more of an update later, but so far, highly impressed with the course, highly impressed with the sailing school, highly recommend both. The one thing that Captain Tracy, he knows what kind of boat we have. They don't have any Genoes here, but he knows everything about it. He knows the slip we're going to in Orange Beach. So he's talking like, oh, you probably don't want to go into that bridge because it's only a foot off your mast. And I was like, how do you know that? I didn't tell you that. He's like, no, go up by Pensacola and go in the ICW. And then he's talking tips on how to make sure that we're going to make it. He's, you know, things that just I haven't heard before. You know, get the fuel tank scrubbed out because it's probably got algae in it if it's sitting more than 2 years. And that's going to be your #1 problem, to make the engines not work. And tips and tricks that I haven't heard that are awesome. He's been living aboard a boat of his own for the last 6 years or something. So even if I didn't get anything from the course, this is very, very informative on how to make my boat work for me in the future. Highly recommend it. So good morning. It is day 4, I think. So yesterday we took the test for ASA 103 first thing in the morning, and we talked about some navigation, looked at a chart, plotted out the first part of the route we're going to take. Apparently we don't have a map for the second part, and then we sailed. We went and did some docking, which was interesting on the 45-foot boat. Much more difficult than what I thought it would be, while at the same time not as complicated. Just had to be aware of a lot more things, you know, the wind, the current. But the boat handled really well. It was a 46-foot Hunter we were on. So that was interesting. We each docked a few times, went out, did some standing turns, and then we headed back out to Galveston Bay, where we set sail for about 4 hours, which was interesting. Hit some moderate seas, some 2-3 foot swells. We were at about 20 knot winds the whole time, so we had the main reefed, had the jib all the way out, heeled over pretty good. It was a lot interesting to see how in my small boat we unsheet the main, whereas in the big boat, because the main was already reefed, we basically unsheeted the jib whenever we started to heel too much. So that was pretty cool, pretty new to learn. We sailed over to the Galveston area where we intended to make a marina for the evening. Turns out the keel depth on the sheet that the instructor had was wrong. It said 5.5 feet, and we were actually 6.8 feet. So we went aground. So we got the experience of trying to figure out how to get off the grounding. We ended up just blowing silt out from under the boat for like a half hour. Then we got it turned a little bit off wind, and we pulled the jib out halfway and let the jib turn us. And eventually got off ground. It took about 45 minutes. So that was my first grounding. That was cool. Good thing to learn. That's dedication by the instructor to teach you how to ground. And then we sailed over here. We're actually in Galveston. It's a decent marina. It's a lot more for power boats. You can see there's like 4 racks of covered and only one area for sail. It's a little grungier than the one we were in, but it's Galveston. It's nice enough. It's got showers and bathrooms. That's all you can really ask for. Good morning from day 5. We are back to our home marina, back in Kemah. We had an awesome downwind sail for about 3 hours yesterday. The wind was out of our, rear starboard quarter, about, 17 mile an hour. We were running 8.5 knots. It was pretty sweet. We had a real light following sea that didn't push us all over the place. Great sail. Went by a couple huge tankers in the shipyard. Got some 6-foot swells. So we got to experience how much fun that would be for 5 or 6 and how horribly painful it would be if you did it all day long. And then the wind died completely. We got to an anchorage spot. The windlass was broke, so we only put down about, 20 foot of chain. Because every foot we put down, we had to clear back up. So we didn't put much out, and we went and ate lunch, and turned out we dragged. So that was experience. Didn't feel anything, just all of a sudden we're in a new spot. The sign that was behind us is beside us. I'm glad we didn't hit it. We touched bottom. Chart said one thing and my instructor said another thing, and we did what the instructor said, and bam, hit the bottom. We didn't stick, so that was good. So after eating lunch, we tried to sail some more. We were doing about a knot, maybe. Unfortunately, Dave had an airplane to catch, so we did that for half hour, 45 minutes, and then we motored in. And that was the end of the day. So today, we are supposed to do a docking course. It's a 2-day course. We're going to try to do it in 1 day. Unfortunately, as you may have heard, the winds are up, like 23 knots. Should make this very interesting, if not impossible. Tonight, my wife is coming in. We got her going out with us on a 40-foot tomorrow, so she can experience the monohull sailing feel. We were hoping to get light winds, but that didn't work. It's predicted about 20 to 21. So we'll reef the main and let her get some waves, I guess. She'll be thrilled. So I came out here for a sunrise. Not sure if we're gonna get it or not. It's pretty cloudy out. So we'll see what happens. That's all I got for today.